All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bondstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. Oh, it's Monday, guys. Start the barbecue week. I just finished. I can't use the word finished, but I am coming to the end of the process of officially cleaned up, straightened out, reorganized from last week's competition. And I can actually see most of my garage right now. So that's pretty good, pretty good. Daddy Dutch, of course I'm on time. You are on Texas time. So Iowa via San Antonio, Texas. Why can't I do this right now? Come on. Nope. Oh, there it is. So up and down. Okay, let's see. Tom was first in, waiting on dinner. Then Daddy Dutch from Dick's Last Resort on the Riverwalk. Oh, they're going to eat you alive there, boy. NBL, what's happening? Matt Pereira, what's going on? I think he had to take a nap earlier, Cres. You know. But maybe it is.
Matt for you.
But he's there. He's there. Patrick Cullen, what's up? Judge Webb, what's happening? All right, guys. Tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. Uncle Steve, what can I say? Amazing guy. Started with just one flavor, the original, and would make it for him and the girls for the house. Then some people tried it, liked it, made it for them. Next thing you know, a spicier version came out. Then something for beef. And needless to say, 18 blends later, also including the sauce with no name. He's got anything you're looking for. The competition line, like I said, the original, spicier, gator shake, sweet dessert shake. The list goes on and on. Magic Ribs, who has been doing very well for me as of late. And, but yeah, everything's fresh, all small batch, nothing sitting around for any period of time. If you place an order today, it's getting mixed Wednesday, Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then shipped out to you. So you're always getting the freshest product available. And he does it all. He mixes the shakes, bottles, labels, packages, ships, the whole nine. Questions, emails, phone calls, he's answering them. Getting back to you, working with you on what your flavor profile you're trying to hit is. Check him out at UncleSteveShake.com. And also on Facebook, Uncle Steve Shake Nation. Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Royce City, Texas. Another true gentleman, Gabriel and his crew, do an amazing job. The protein selection is incredible. You need a specific cut or thickness, he's got you covered. If you're looking for something he might not have, he'll work with you to get it in. All us comp and backyarders got us covered too. Lines of rubs, seasons, sauces, injections, marinades, the Joe's Meat Market house line, smoky wood products, splits, chips, chunks, pellets, produce brought in fresh daily. And while you're there, feeling hungry, Gabriel's mom is behind the counter whipping up some of the freshest cuisine out there. Grab a plate, sit down, talk to the boys, make a new friend over this wonderful passion that we call barbecue. Like you said, if you're ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth, technically Royce City, Texas, swing by, see Gabriel and the crew at Joe's Meat Market, and tell them I sent you. Joe's Meat Market for the win. All right. All right. Yeah, Bat was a little late, but I was actually somewhat almost right on time. I think maybe a second or two, but that's all right. That's all computer stuff. But we were right on. But guys, we got to have a hell of an episode for you tonight. One of our local competitors has been doing very well for himself and his team, Two Little Pigs BBQ. But we're here to talk a little bit about that. But more so, he has an event coming up, and I spoke of it last week. The Camp Harkness 2025 Beach Smoke Showdown. And what this event covers in a few categories, however you want to put it, has never been done in barbecue before. And we're going to get into that, what it is, what it means, how it's going to go about, and, what spurred the idea of bringing this thought to a reality. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me this evening from Two Little Pigs BBQ, I nailed it while we were off the air, Cres. I nailed it. Give me a second. Cres Secciaroli.
There you go, brother.
There we go. Even my spelling sucks. I can't even spell it phonetically. So I understand it. But Cres, man, first off, thank you so much for taking the time to join me and get to know you a little bit better and get into the Camp Harkness 225 Beachside Smoke Showdown and everything that is going to entail. Because from my knowledge of it and what I know of this event, it's like you had said, it's never been done in barbecue before, and it is right up our alley. What we do, especially with the charities and organizations we get into. It's going to be good. Waypoint Barbecue, what's up, brother? Ron Davis, what's happening? Larry Vaughn, afternoon from Delaware. Okay, Larry's on the move. Uwe Braun, our favorite German, joining us from Texas. What's up, brother? But Cres, like I said, it's laid back, and I'm really only going to ask really one main structure question, and then we kind of cuff it off the cuff it from there on out. But tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, how you got into this crazy world we call barbecue.
So I'm Cres Secciaroli. My family's from southeastern Connecticut. We're started out as a bunch of Italian immigrants, and there wasn't much for good old immigrants to do but labor and farming. So we've had a family farm going back to 1911.
Oh wow!
And we raise hogs. And we raise heritage breed hogs, and my brother runs it. But because of that, I've probably done more pig roasts here than I would gander to say anybody that's tuned in today. Countless numbers. I mean, started hand turning the spit as a very young lad. You knew a pig was done when you chewed on its ear. Going way back old school. So my family's always been around, pork markets and pig roasts and some barbecuing. And being Italians, we like to feed the masses. Like there's never any leftovers. We still do the Sunday dinners and everything. And a few years ago, about 10, 11 years ago now, I guess, one of my younger brothers was working with this guy, white collar corporate America. And he started saying how he used to have a barbecue team and he doesn't have anybody to help him anymore. because he moved and his guys that he worked with moved. And so our team is actually Two Little Pigs BBQ East Coast team, because the team split up and one team went,
Okay.
right. And so my brother said, hey, I got a bunch of brothers and we're all knuckleheads and we like to cook and we like to barbecue. And so we started competing with this guy. His name's Mark Zaccarel. Great guy and very skilled. He had been invited to the Royale before and things like that. And so, we just started being his slobs, get this, wash this, but and all we did was we competed once a year.
Mm-hmm.
We're in southeastern Connecticut, and about 5 miles up the road is Mohegan Sun, and we used to get together and compete at Mohegan Sun every year.
Yep.
We'd show up with a U-Haul trailer, 2 pop-up tents, a backyard smoker, a Humphreys, and a Weber grill, and we just played with the big boys, and it was fun. Like, you see guys pull up with big old rigs, and here we are, and and we ended up, cutting our teeth, learning how it goes and everything. And every year we got a little better, but we just did one comp every year. We'd bring a new person into a fold. I brought my girlfriend in, and she'd come to a comp, and she'd be like, "You do this once a year, and you have all this equipment?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's worse things I could be spending my money on, right?"
Very true.
Right. And again, I like feeding people and stuff like that. And so we just kept doing that and kept getting better and better and better. And, we ended up getting an RGC at Mohegan Sun one year. And that was a year of, they had a golden ticket up for grabs for the World Food Competition. And the grand champion, Smoking Hogs, stepped aside, and we took it and we ran and went down to Texas, and still, and we held our own down there.
Yeah.
And it was there's a lot of that Northeast snowflake and Northeast cupcakes and marshmallows and whatever else. And what we said was we were going to bring New England barbecue down. So I sourced all local meats, from our farm, from a Wagyu farm in Connecticut, another Wagyu farm in Vermont, and then we make our own sauce, and we took out some of the traditional ingredients and added some really unique ones, flavors that are unique to the Northeast and stuff like that. We said we're going to bring Northeast down because, we had no respect anyway. And we did well. We held our own, and we were very proud for our team that competed once a year. We were very excited. And, this last year I got tired of setting up the pop-up tents and dragging the coolers around, and made the big leap and invested in a used trailer, and it's made it a lot easier. So I think we've done 5 different New England states so far this year, with a couple more to go, so we're excited.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, the Mohegan Sun. Oh, that was a time. That was a time. Greg Pino, what's happening? Tim Rogers, Up to Barbecue. What's up, brother? Tim, they had a hell of a weekend for themselves out in New York. Nice calls, great cook. Proud of you, brother. Great job. Eric, what's up, Gator? How are you, brother? Corlin Webster, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. So you've been no stranger to the food game, especially, with your upbringing, like you said, Italian heritage. Food is always part of everything. Yep. Good, bad, indifferent. Are you happy? Let's eat. Are you sad? Let's eat. You got a headache? Let's eat. You got a broken leg? Let's eat. I know all too well about that. And then, like you said, cooking hogs from the farm, and you know the old school ways. That's for sure. And like you said, you getting moving up in the world, and the trailer and everything does make everything, because I'm still loading everything up. We call it barbecue Jenga, barbecue jigsaw puzzle, however you want to do it. I go, the tables need to go right here, followed by the 2 pop-up tents, followed by the regular tents, because those will hold the tables up. Then the Cambro, and you're fitting everything, and then my rig is a toe behind. So, for the foreseeable future, I'll be still loading up, strategically anyway.
Yeah.
But either way, we all get it done, and we have a great time in everything we do. So let's get into this, because something tells me there's a ton of information here that's not just on the flyer. So the Camp Harkness 2025 Beach Smoke Showdown, happening Friday, September 5th through the 7th, in Waterford, Connecticut, at Camp Harkness. First and foremost, tell us a little bit about Camp Harkness, what it is, how long it's been around, things of that nature.
Yep. So Camp Harkness. So in Waterford, there's a Harkness Memorial State Park, and if you think of Newport and the Gilded Age and the Baron robbers that built all the mansions up in Newport, there was this guy Harkness who said, "I'm not going all the way to Newport from New York," and he purchased all this oceanside land. Harkness was a silent partner of John D. Rockefeller, and he built this massive mansion on the ocean. And they had that for years and years and years. And when the family finally no longer had a need for it, they donated it to the state of Connecticut. And so now it's a park that anyone can go to. It's beautiful. People have weddings there and stuff. But they set aside a little bit of the property for the state of Connecticut, and it was set aside for the use for people, the handicapped and veterans, is what it was termed. And there's like 36 acres that was set aside. And I work for a department of the state of Connecticut who oversees and manages that portion of the park. Versus our DEP, who oversees the other hundreds of acres and in the public facing. So Camp Harkness is a members only park, and you have to be a resident of Connecticut, and you have to have a disability, and so on and so forth. And my department oversees the supports for individuals with intellectual disabilities. So the camp's been around for decades. Mary Harkness, when she still lived at the Harkness Mansion, she would bring disadvantaged youth by train up for the weekends and have summer camps. And back when there was TB, she'd bring up TB patients and from the local hospital and have camps for them. And so they bequeathed this to, like I said, the handicapped and veterans. And the camp is beautiful. It's got 18 cabins, non-winterized cabins. It's got another 3 homes on it, a bunch of other buildings. And it's got a beachfront, it's got a bunch of pavilions, it's got nature paths, but it's set aside for people with disabilities. So it's pretty much all handicap accessible. During the summer, different organizations run overnight camps there. And then, in the off season, people that are members can reserve some of the cabins and stay down there, free of charge because they're members, kind of a thing. And it's not a bad spot to get a place to go, either tent camping or in one of the cabins or one of the cottages on the Connecticut shore on the Long Island Sound. They have a gardener program and equestrian program and different things. It's a unique place, and we average about 40,000 visitors a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The summertime is truly a miraculous time of the year, seeing the camps full. But even in the off season, just a lot of people it's beautiful to go walking down there. We have sensory rooms and sensory gardens and stuff. It's a peaceful place. It's really nice. So that's camp.
All right. So as you're saying, a peaceful place, you had come up with the idea of kind of taking a little bit of that peacefulness and turning it up on its side, on its ear, and bringing a barbecue competition down for the weekend.
Yes.
Which, is exciting itself. It is quite the show to observe for sure. Yeah. A lot of different characters and all that, but all in all, they're always a great time. Great people are always involved, especially when it comes to organizations, foundations, charities, however you want to put it. So this is going to be, for the most part, your standard competition. Load in is going to be on Friday, which anybody tuning in who isn't familiar with our little barbecue game, load in is we all start showing up on Friday, getting our areas situated where we're going to be. Sometimes depends on the size of the rigs. Cres has a smaller trailer. I have a smoker on a trailer, and I usually set up a tent off my pop-up canopies. But then there's other guys who have motorhomes, so you strategically place people to fit the most and, fit people comfortably. So that's what load in means. And, there's a lot of Friday shenanigans, we like to call it, because, in the end, we're a giant family is what we really are. Everybody knows each other, and the newbies, catch a little razzing, but, are welcomed with open arms. But that's on a Friday. Then we get in Sunday is our traditional, depending on the contest, either 3 or 4 meat contest. Normally it's a 4 meat contest: chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket. And, we all compete, cook our best, put it in a blind judging box. Judges go in, taste, appearance, taste, texture, look at it, score it, taste it, and, score it from there. But on Saturdays don't get me wrong, Sundays of competing is fun. But Saturdays is really where the fun happens. And this particular event is sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance out of Texas, or CBA as we refer to it. And you will hear, throughout our conversation, us refer to CBA. That's what it is. That is the sanctioning body. Those are the rules we follow. Those are the rules the judges follow in order to have the contest. But like I said, Saturdays is where the fun starts. A lot of the times we have things called jackpots, a rib shootout, or chef's choice, or steak. We have a little smaller competitions in there. But another thing we've also got into is what we call the future of Q, or the kids Q. That is children up to I don't know exactly what the minimal age is, but I know it's up to 17 years old. The kids can compete. and we usually have like a chicken wing or steak, pork chop, burger, things of that nature. And then the air quotes professional cooks, we have our jackpots, and this particular one is a dessert. And with this one, at 6:30, there's going to be a pig roast, and I'm pretty sure who's going to be cooking that one.
Got a good idea.
Got a pretty good idea who's going to be there tending that. But the one area also on Saturday that is catching everyone's attention is this portion of the competition called a unified queue. And I love it. I've always been in the kids queue with my kids, and my son JJ has been doing a couple of them this year, cooking with Dan and Kristen from 16 Mesh, because I had asked them, "You want to cook?" Both of them, my daughter and my son. Nope. Okay, because I'm gonna bring Braden in. So I've been cooking with this young man who's been following the show since he was 12. And
he's having a season.
He's having a hell of a season.
He's having a season. I wish I had his numbers.
Two firsts and a third. But everybody who knows the show knows Braden. So I'm not speaking out of school. Braden is visually impaired. He's completely blind in one eye. He has some little vision out of his other eye. He can see colors, shapes, things of that nature. So to have him join me and to really give him the best true experience of cooking, it's been an absolute honor, a pleasure. All the guys love it. You ever see a bunch of big guys barbecuing all in tears? It's the smoke that gets in the eyes. But yeah, but this young man has brought this entire group to tears on numerous occasions. But this has led, like I said, there is going to be a future queue or kids queue, however you want to do it. But the unified queue is where you're going with this. It's extremely unique. Like we had said before, it has never been done before. There was a few things I found talking to Kel Phelps that they had done with St. Jude's Children's Hospital down in Missouri. And that was, it got the patients access to the competitions, access to the teams, Q&A sessions, things like that, but not actually getting in there and cooking. So, Cres, please give us every bit of information you have on the unified queue, how it came to be, how it started as an idea, what's been going on to make this happen, because this is a special event.
So it goes back a little bit to being at Mohegan Sun and having some crazy lady come up to our pit, sit down, and start saying, "Hey, have you guys heard about this Cora? And I have this team called Inclusive Barbecue." And I got to know this crazy lady named Kathy, and I was like, "Inclusive Barbecue? That's a unique name for a barbecue team." And we got talking, and she's amazing in some of the stuff that she does. So, started thinking and talking to her, but what really sparked it was, I said before, we got invited down to Dallas, Texas to compete in the World Food Championship. And down there, that weekend, they had a huge high school barbecue team competition with teams from all over the South. And I'd never seen anything like that before. We don't have that in the Northeast, or we didn't
Nope.
then. So I went up to one of the organizers and I said, "You got to tell me about this. What is this phenomenon of high school barbecue?" And the guy just said that back in the day, they had some school districts come up to some barbecuers and be like, "Look, we have these kids that don't have a sense of community. They don't show up to school. They don't have a reason to come. They don't, they're not part of the jocks or the drama kids or the band kids or the smart kids or this. They don't have a group. They don't have a sense of community, so they don't come." And all those things, about those teams and those groups, that they teach you the soft skills in life, right? They teach you about teamwork and communication and networking and collaboration and things like that, and a sense of belonging, right? And they said, and this generation, not a lot of them know how to cook. So why don't we get them involved, teach them these soft skills, and they can learn how to cook while they're at it, a lifelong skill. And lo and behold, these kids started coming to school. They started getting involved. They started making new friends. They started traveling. They weren't isolating at home behind screens and things like that. And I just got thinking that that's the same thing that we want for the population that I work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want a sense of, we all do, we want a sense of belonging. Like, we want to make friends. We want to travel. We want to belong to something, compete in something, learn how to cook. And a lot of these things are obstacles for the population that I support and their independence. Like, Cres can't move out. He doesn't know how to cook. Or Cres can't go out because the first person that he makes friends with, they might take advantage of him and things like that. So I really got thinking about that. Wow, this is something that this population needs. And when I got into barbecue, I had this preconceived notion that it was a bunch of good old boys, right? That's what you think. And it's not, at least not what I've experienced. It's a bunch of people that don't care who you are, where you come from, whether you're a millionaire, you're rags to riches, doesn't matter, ethnicity, race, whatever. It's so inclusive. And I just thought this community would embrace something like this. So I got thinking about it, and probably, I hope most people have heard of what Special Olympics is. And, that started by the Kennedy family, and it was, for people with disabilities to compete together. And then over the years, they realized this is still segregating these folks. They're just competing together, and they kind of morphed, and they're still Special Olympics, but they started this thing called unified sports. And what unified sports is, it's people with varying disabilities and abilities working together on a team to do different things. So you can have unified soccer teams and basketball teams and softball teams, and it expanded into like unified dance and unified cheer and all these different things. And I just got thinking, we need to start a unified barbecue where people with varying levels of abilities work together to compete in barbecue and learn these skills and get a chance to meet new people and experience a new community. And so I floated this idea around for a little bit. I ended up having to work with Special Olympics, and they had to work with their lawyers to see if we could use that term. And they said, yeah, go ahead. And they're in the background helping out Special Olympics Connecticut. And we're really excited to have people with varying abilities be able to get together and work. I mean, just look at Braden, right? This year, he's traveled to 3 different states to compete.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right? And for the people that I support that maybe live at home with mom and dad or live in a group home or things, maybe they've never been out of Connecticut, but maybe they could get into Unified Q and say, hey, this is a thing, and I can get out there and meet people and have fun and learn a skill and all these things that all of us do that don't have a disability. So That's what it was, how it kind of got to where it is, and the philosophy and the mission that we're trying to do here. And I've talked to one barbecue dad. I told him about it, and he started tearing up in front of me. And he's like, "My son's got autism. I never imagined that he could do this with me."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, and it chokes me up thinking about it, right? And I've had more than one person say, my daughter does unified basketball. She coaches, and I never thought this would be a thing. And here I am. I'm a competitive barbecue team kind of a thing. So, people, we all have people with varying abilities and disabilities in our families, and to think that they could join us is really cool. There are different places where there's a focus. Let's say we'll have a comp with supporting veterans, and we'll team up a veteran with a team. Or I know up at Core next weekend, we'll one patient with the team. And what I've really wanted to do here is because some people might not be able to do a full cook, even with the support. They might not have the physical ability. I'll speak to my stepdaughter. She's in a wheelchair. She has ID. I could tell you all the different things about her, but when she cooks, she's got the ability to use one arm, and so she stirs, right? And we all know that we can heat up a sauce, and you got to keep there and keep stirring it so that the sugars don't crystallize. And she's in a wheelchair, and I was like, she could be the runner, right? You put that turn-in box on a tray, and sewing wheels are up there, and she can hand it in, and she can participate, and she would have a blast doing it.
Absolutely. And and the few people, when like I said, I've been explaining it to Kel and the best I could, and it was like, and it's going to be teams, all different abilities. If there is a child in a wheelchair, can't do much, they can turn in a box.
Sure can.
They can bring a dish, a protein from one end of the camp to the cooker. They can be a member of the team. Like you were saying, someone, who has only use of one arm. You can stir, you can season, you can,
you break down the tasks.
Yeah, you break down the process to fit each child in their abilities. So it's unified. That's it. It's all into one team, one moving piece is what it comes down to. Everybody plays their part, has their role, and like I said, I'm getting, I'm getting now just thinking about it. But we do have, obviously, we know about the chat from YouTube and Facebook, but I also get them here from some of the direct lines. And speaking of the young man himself, Braden is tuning in, Cres, and he has a question. He is watching the show right now, and his question is, will this event be an annual, or is it just only this year? Then he follows it up with, I have it with a unified 2.
Yep. So Braden, we want this to be a start of something big. Not only do we want it to be a first ever event for Unified Q, and we'll do another one next year. We want to see this expand and grow. This will not be a one-off. We've already gotten a lot of support. We've had people reach out that want to help sponsor the event. We have one team say, "Hey, I want to donate a smoker for first prize." So that the team that wins can be smoking year round and come back and be a repeat. It's got a little momentum already. I got to tell you, I had a guy who lives in a group home call me, and has been emailing me from his group home saying, "I want to do this," and asking me questions. How do I do this? What do I do? And that's just, he's like 65. I'm like, way to go, brother. Like, get into the game. It's never too late. So really, really exciting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Like you said, when I first heard it, I'm like, oh my God, we need, as much of, and I said, Cres, we got to get you on, brother. And you were like, how? I've never done anything like this. I'm like, bro, if I can do this week in, week out and still be around after 7 years, don't worry about it. You got this. You got this. But no, we need to get this word out in what you're doing and everybody who's involved with you, because it's not you. There's an army behind you, and
Definitely.
they're coming full force.
Yeah.
To make.
And I've had some teams reach out to me, Johnny, being like, so if I want to help, what do I do? What do I need to do? Kind of a thing. And I just said, be there. Right. So
Yeah.
we have some teams that said, I want to get teamed up with some individuals with, for the Unified Q, and I want to work together. Right. And we've got other, when you sign in, you can say, I want to compete with Unified Q. Another one is, I kind of want to mentor. Right. And so even if you aren't comfortable, working side by side with someone that you don't know for the first time, developing a dish, you can go around and walk around and mentor and cheer people on and say, hey, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that, kind of a thing? As you said earlier, like, typically we're pretty structured in what you can cook on, what you can hand in, CBA, you can hand in, brisket flats or burnt ends, not chopped, kind of a thing. And, we have our rules. And so what we did for the Unified Qs is I wanted to take all those obstacles away. So any protein, right? I didn't want someone going up to someone to be like, hey, well, there's this competition and we're going to do chicken. I don't like chicken. I don't want to compete, right? Kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm hoping that, people are working together to say, hey, everybody here likes pork. Let's do a pork dish together, and they're working together to learn how to cook. And another thing that we took out was, we said, cook on anything you want, right? Because not every person out there that's never competed before has got a smoker lying around.
Yep.
Right? So I don't care if they show up with a propane grill or a Blackstone flat top or whatever. Just get out there and cook and compete. And we've already got a bunch of teams signed up that are really excited.
Yeah, and that's what, like you were saying, with the with the protein, any protein. Folks, this isn't just, like you were saying, a chicken or a ribs or a pork. It's a chicken dish. It's a ribs dish. It's a pork dish. You can cook that, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Cres, tell me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. If some of these kids want to cook Thanksgiving dinner, they can.
I know one team who everybody on the team loves chicken nuggets. I was like, cook nuggets, baby. Plate them up. Bring them in. Make your sauce. Like,
yeah, it's there's no floor and there's no ceiling.
Yep.
The sky's the limit. Your imagination, your creativity, however you want to do it. Like you just said, you want to do chicken nuggets? Go wild. You can do the best chicken nuggets dish you can do. If that includes 100 different sauces, so be it. If that's what that team is deciding to do, you want to do it the Thanksgiving dinner? Absolutely. it doesn't have to be shoestrung to a particular, like our turn-ins.
Yep. Yep.
Chicken,
Yep.
that's it. No chicken. That's it. But no, that is fantastic.
We're trying
Now,
to make it a little bit of a party. So like we're gonna have a, kids queue, then the dessert jackpot, and I got to tell you, we already have 2 golden ticket winners signed up for the dessert competition. Like this is gonna be a real deal throwdown.
ooh, okay.
And then we got the unified queue. Then we're having an awards ceremony, and then we're gonna have a pig roast potluck. I went to a couple years ago. Buddy of mine, Jeff, holds a competition here in Connecticut, and they had a
Yep.
potluck with competitive cooks. There ain't nothing better. There ain't
Right?
nothing better. I'm telling you, blow your mind away what people throw down for a potluck. So I said, we'll cook a pig. We'll have a potluck pig roast. We're literally, you can throw a frisbee into the ocean. We're 50 feet from the ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a DJ down there so that it's just like a nice little party for all the participants, and have a good time before before the fun starts for the Sunday competition.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now just to go back a little bit more with the unified competitors, I can't even begin to imagine, what it's taking, what it's going to take, um, to pull this off. Pull it off is, sorry, it's not the correct word. To make this happen the way and meet, I suppose, expectations, even though there are no expectations. It's just all about the fun, the community, the unity. But these folks with special needs also come with special needs.
Hmm?
What goes in, volunteers, the town themselves, just simply on the medical aspect that would go with some of these kids, just throw something out there. A child suffers from seizures. Obviously, parents and caretakers, you learn real quick on what you need to help your child out. But is there a staff? I think you had said something about possibly the camp medical staff donating time, but we're talking about the event on its own, but it's these things like that you don't think of talking about, what's on the flyer and what you're going to sign up to do. There's a lot of unsung heroes in the, not necessarily in the background a little bit for the support. Is that going on, getting things you need, for the children in case of an incident, an emergency,
So we what I've told some of the teams that have inquired about it is like barbecue, you got to be pretty self-sufficient first off, right? So if think of it as a day that you were going to the beach, what would you need, right? You got to be pretty self-sufficient. You gotta get your bug spray. You got to have your sunscreen. They're like, are you gonna have water stations? I'm like, if you were going to the beach, you bring your water, bring your hydration, kind of a thing. And the people that are coming know the individuals the best, right? They know them, and a lot of them are coming with like family members or staff support, and they know them and what their needs are, kind of a thing. The camp does have some staff. We're going to make sure we got a lifeguard there. We got some other staff. We did have someone say that they would donate a nurse for the event for the what ifs. I know one of the teams has got an EMT on the team and things like that. So, it's you can't plan for everything, and people need to be self-sufficient. But we have a really good relationship with the local town, and just this weekend we had an incident down there. Someone had a little heat stroke. So called right away, and they know our camp and how to get in there and get people the care that they need real quick. There's a hospital maybe 4 miles away, a firehouse maybe 4 miles away. Like, emergency support and services are real close by if they're needed. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm just spitballing some ideas, but you guys, you guys, you're the professional on this, on this end of it. So this is going to be absolutely incredible. Like I said, I love what you're doing. Hold on, let me see. I just heard something go off here. Didn't know if Braden had another one. Nope. No. Not Braden. No. But yeah, he's excited about it.
I think he's coming. I think he said he's coming.
Oh, I'm pretty sure last week we were in New Hampshire, they were getting after awards on Saturday. They were getting ready to leave, and Matt was there. I think you were there, and he was excited about it. He's ready for the Futures of Q, the Unified Q. I think he indirectly signed his mother up to for the dessert jackpot, and he went right down the line. It was awesome. Hilarious. It was hilarious, but yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome that the kids are involved in expanding the horizons to to all types of kids.
Yeah.
Regardless of. Jonathan, I'll hit you up in a minute, brother. Brother, I got you. I
think we already have a team from Texas signed up to compete. So we got teams coming in from all over the place. So it's really exciting.
Beautiful.
And this is a Jack qualifier.
Jack qualifier. That's right. The new calendar started this past weekend. So
come to Connecticut and get your bung.
To get the bung, the race to 7 has started, and yeah, it was good. But man, Cres, this event, even me, a big bag of wind, I can't verbally do this justice. You know what I mean? There's so much going on. There is so much care, love, passion, especially for the kids and, the people involved. This is going to be absolutely incredible, brother. So sign-ups are open.
Yes.
Matt's put it up. You put it up. I'm going to hold it up, the flyer itself, but there's also another, QR code. Those are up. So check our pages. Is there a particular, email address or place where people can go and look up and sign other than, other than the QR code?
Yeah. So people can always reach out to me for the Unified Q. I'm on Facebook. My name's here, Cres or Two Little Pigs. I got on the flyer that Matt's sending around. I'll post it again too. It's got a email address and a phone number where you can contact me. Like I said, I've been getting phone calls and emails today already, and it's really cool when I'm getting someone from a group home emailing me and calling me, and got another provider calling. It's really cool. Like people are getting excited about it.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. But yeah, get in touch with Cres. Obviously, get in touch with me, get in touch with Matt. And, any questions, I'll get you in touch with Cres. And because I'm not even going to pretend I have all the answers or a fraction of the answers. I have the basis down pretty good, I'd like to think here, of this event, but there is so much going on this weekend coming after Labor Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested, check our social medias, sign up that way, get in touch with us, and we'll get you signed up or get any of your questions that you have answered, and for you, decide if you're gonna sign up or anything, or if you're willing to, volunteer, help out in any way. It's always appreciated. But Cres, brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, Johnny.
This was incredible. I am so happy we can get the word out on this, and if everything works out even further than this, and really get the word out with a friend who he let's just say he is barbecue. Anything barbecue goes through this gentleman. And when I spoke to Kel about it the other day, he was all about getting as much information on this event as he possibly could. And his reach goes it goes everywhere with him. NBBQA and the Barbecue News magazine. So, but brother, thank you so much for taking the time to join me, filling us in, educating us on the unified queue, what that entails, and like I said, anything I can do, brother, I'm there for you. I'm still trying to work it out so I could be part of this. It's going to be a bit of a stretch right now, but like I said, I'm going to do everything. If I can get down there, fantastic. If I can't, you got the contact list, you got the Rolodex. For all you young people out there, a Rolodex was the original contact list, a bunch of little pieces of paper that spun around. But yeah, whatever I can do to try to get the word out on this, brother. I appreciate
your support, Johnny. I really do.
Awesome, Cres. Thank you so much. Hang in there. Where can everybody follow you social media wise, like yours, the team's social medias?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Cres Saccaroli. We're on Facebook with Two Little Pigs, and we're on Instagram with Two Little Pigs. Not a huge social media junkie. What's what you got to do nowadays, and so I don't even have a personal Instagram account. I just Two Little Pigs. Like I post pictures of meat. That's about it.
Sounds familiar. Right? All too well. Yeah. Well, brother, thank you very much. Hang in there 1 second. I'll get right back with you to close this out. But folks, that was it. Thank you, Cres, for joining us and filling us in about the event. Like I said, folks, it is the weekend after Labor Day, so September 5th through the 7th. Load in the 5th, Saturday, Kids Queue, Unified Queue, Jackpots, Pig Roast. Then Sunday is competition day for CBA 4 meat. An incredible venue, incredible people giving their heart and soul and, time, and everything that goes with it to pull this off. So this is going to be good. If you'd like to sign up, follow the social medias. You got to sign up QR codes, or like I said, message me, email me, smoke signal me, whatever you got to do, and I'll get you in the right direction. But Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, subscribe. You'll have all the episodes there. Seeing Facebook is still on their high horse, deleting things after 30 days. So all the episodes will be on YouTube. Catch the audio wherever audio podcasts are found. iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. Questions and comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Like always, rate, subscribe, review, hit that share button. Next week, I will be joined by Miss Tina Cannon and special co-host making a reappearance, the one and only CMAC, Craig McPherson. We will be having a hell of a conversation with Tina. I know Tina through the shows and everything, but CMAC knows her personally through the different egg fests and everything. So we're gonna have a hell of a conversation again next week. So tune in then. But until then, enjoy the week and keep the smoke rolling.